Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Redshirt Down, and this is the series Trash to Treasure, where I show you just how easy and cheap it can be to play the best format in all of Magic. And for one of you, that's especially true. I'm planning on giving this cube away for free to one of my viewers living in North America. I'd like to open it up worldwide in the future, but right now the cost is still too prohibitive. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment on any of the videos in the series. I'll be polling a random viewer a couple of weeks after the series wraps. Before we begin, I'd like to thank everyone who's taking this journey with me. Today I'll be thumbing through the green creature and non-creatures from the bulk purchase. I'll be pulling out anything interesting or cool and trying to finish off the color pie in style. Let's get started with diving into the creatures. Timeless Witness. What a strong find. It's a nod to Eternal Witness, and giving you value from the grave is an okay bonus for this being slightly more expensive. Bannerhide Crushark is exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to modal spells. This is an on-rate creature or an expensive combat trick, with value coming out of the graveyard either way. It's early on, but I think that a mechanic I'm seeing a lot of in green is counters. Not surprising, but it'll change the way I'm evaluating future creatures. Wren's Run Hydra, much like the Crushark, can either be an on-rate creature or an instant speed way to buff another. This being a Hydra, you can dump all of your available mana into it. Very cool pickup for the color. Llanowar Elves. I was hoping to find at least one. Mana dorks are the backbone of green in any cube, and this is one of the more iconic ones. At this point, I'm searching for mana dorks, above rate creatures, and large green men. Generous Ent, the last of the Lord of the Rings cycle. The body is decent, if a bit expensive, but it basically counts as another land in your drafter's mana base. Krosan Tusker, a Golden Age classic that's a bit outclassed by the Ent. It cycles for 3 mana and gives you that basic for your troubles. I'll throw it in for now, but I'm not sure we need 2 bodies that basically do the same thing. This Emerald Dragon's a bit understated, so it's probably not making the final cut. But I like the idea of mono green having access to a surprise stifle, so I'm throwing it in for now. And we found our first green wall I'm willing to throw in. The Bamboo Grove Archer has stats well above rate, plus reach. And it's got a channel ability which, while expensive, is another form of giving your main deck options you'd expect from the sideboard. We found a sneaky rare, this time using Naya's Power Matter theme. Sekelium Godspeaker can make a ton of mana, assuming you're doing the big green things. But the downside is it makes no mana by itself, or even if the creatures are already on the board. Probably not a card I want in the final list. Another sneaky rare, Arachnus Spinner, is a bit specific to add in. Maybe if we find the web I'll add it in, but at 6 mana I'd like my green creatures to do more. In this cube, Imperiosaur is basically a 4-mana 5/5. Despite the non-basics I plan on adding in, often the ideal mana base in this cube will be full of basics since they come into play untapped. At time of recording, Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release is just around the corner. What are you most excited about in the set? Despite being on a magic break when it block first released, I can't wait to jam as much of the set as possible. I may even start streaming Arena just to get my fix in. Would you be interested in watching? Let me know down below. Because it's been a while since the last time I've done one of these, here's a Modern Horizons 3 pre-release code card giveaway. Good luck to all trying to claim it. May the fastest fingers win. We're finding some decently mid-range cards at this point. Nothing terrible, but nothing amazing. Kind of the problem with the color, even as you go up the power band. Green's bread and butter, big creatures, is never bad, but often it's also uninteresting. Alloy Animist is one of those cool new green creatures that animates artifacts. I usually expect to see this in blue, but because beggars can't be choosers, this will be a good way to bring added value to our random tokens. Portcullis Vine, another defender that would like to build around the archetype. We'll give this wall of wood a shot, but at this point, I need your input. Seeing all of the walls at this point, would you be interested in drafting the archetype? It's definitely something unique that we can build, but is it even worth it? Wilson, Refined Grizzly, an awesome bear with all of the abilities. Perfect for any kind of aura or equipment archetype. The one knock against it is the choose a background flavor text. It plays well in Baldur's Gate Limited, but anywhere else it might just confuse your drafters. Outland Liberator, one of my favorite naturalized creatures they've been printing recently. The Daybound Nightbound is a big reason to avoid playing it, but if we don't find another creature that has this ability, we'll have to keep it. Annoyed Altasaur. Last I heard, this card's pretty good in Pauper. It's probably going to be one of the better top-end cards we'll find. 7 mana is a lot, but if there's a color that can pull it off, it's green. Wall of Roots, a strong defender that gives you mana every turn. It's going to have to beat out a lot of other creatures at 2, but at least it's worth taking a second look at. That'll finish up our green creature section. As expected, we're starting with a ton of solid includes. It feels like there could be about 200 cards in this pile. That's a lot of cuts for future me to deal with. Let's dive into the green non-creature spells. This is a really competitive space, as green usually has the largest amount of creatures. These cards are going to have to do a lot to be chosen. Starting with the artifacts, I'm not seeing a lot here that's exciting. Both the Ranger's Longbow and Implement of Ferocity are interesting, but neither are strong enough that we have to run them. Added for now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see both cut. Onto the enchantments, we'll be skipping auras unless they come with value built in. Like Audacity. Not you! I mean, Audacity, the fixed Rancor. It buffs your creatures, and when it dies, you get your investment back. Nature's Embrace is interesting only because it's modal. Spectacular art though, Dominic Mayer just doesn't miss. Trail of Crumbs. I've seen a lot of creatures creating food tokens, and this could be just the support they need. It might even be a through line in both green and white. Let's add it in for now and investigate later. That'll do for the non-creature permanents. We ended up with a few, but this really isn't green's forte anyway. Now on to the instants. I'm looking for pump spells, fight and bite removal, and maybe some ramp if we find it. Starting off strong with Might of the Masses. Depending on the deck, this may even be stronger than Giant Growth. Strength in numbers is as close to Hoof as we're likely to get. Plus, nowhere on the card does it say you can't use this defensively. And there we have it, the classic Giant Growth. Really versatile card in a cube with a lot of creature interactions like this. Return to Nature, one of the better sideboarder-only cards. You'll never run this in your starting 40, but against certain opponents the modality is not to be understated. Fog. Here's a card they don't print at this mana value anymore. This cube isn't looking for Turbo Fog, but the one-time use may leave your opponent on the back foot. Fell the Pheasant is a flavorful green removal spell. It's an instant speed way to remove one of green's biggest weaknesses, and even brings in the flavor of adding the food token. Time to roast Big Bird! Mirror and Metal is the crossroads between a generic artifact deck and decks that just happen to have a lot of food tokens. Bombadil's Song is a good protection spell with the ring tacked on. At this point, I think we've seen enough that it might be a through line in all 5 colors. If it is, I'll ship out a few ring tokens with the cube so you can play it straight from the box. These instants are a good base. Maybe I'll dig around in the tossed pile to fill them out more. But green really doesn't need a lot of instants anyway. Now on to the sorceries. I'm looking for more of the same. Pump spells, more fight and bite effects, maybe a ramp or two if they're cheap enough. Maybe even some token generation. Giant Opportunity is a flavorful card in a cube with some food support. Instead of gaining life from tokens you've collected, here's a threat that needs to be dealt with. I wonder if we can have another secret achievement. Will you cast this spell on 3 to make your giant? Here we go, our first fight spell, Prey Upon. 1 mana removal in green. Personally, I like these more than bites because I feel the latter is close to a color pie break. But either way, this will make the 360 for sure. Overrun, the classic effect you're never sad to see. Our actual Craterhoof. This will give your team the ability to deal the last damage needed to win the game. Many Partings. I love this card. It should be a staple for all cubes at lower power. This fixes your mana and gives you an artifact token for 1 mana. This could even play a part in doing that secret achievement. Ancient Stirrings, another popular pauper card. This will usually grab a land from this environment, but as we haven't got to the artifacts yet, I don't even know what else you'd like to find. Included for now, but this may be a cut later. Explore. This is the kind of ramp I'm not sad to see. It replaces itself, so you're only losing tempo for a turn until you can play bigger things than your opponent. Given the choice between the two, I like the art on the original version better. You simply can't beat John Avon landscapes. Bushwhack, another fantastic modal spell. It's a better Prey Upon, because it will also let you fix your mana too. Both are going to be in right now, but between the two, this is always making the cut. Abundant Harvest. This may be one of green's best 1 mana cantrips, but I hope that we find a better border. And there we go. Found. Edge of Autumn. This is a weird one from Future Sight. 2 mana ramp, but it's not dead in the late game. So that'll do for the sorceries. We only found a few, but I think that they'll be very impactful. Now we've looked at all 5 colors. It looks like we're ending up with a decently mid-range cube. Not unexpected, but now we know the direction to start shaping from. Don't forget about today's question. At this point, we've seen all the walls that matter. Would you personally be interested in drafting the archetype? Let me know down below, and we'll come to a conclusion about them soon. Also, don't forget about the giveaway contest. All you have to do is leave a comment in any video of the series, and I'll pull a winner randomly in a few weeks after the series wraps. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.